This ain't a fucking hobby. I don't know who the...
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, your YouTube Messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious and Raw this week. But before we get into Raw, we're going to switch gears, go into last week, talk about the SmackDown Rewind. Big highlights from last week's SmackDown. It was the fallout from Money in the Bank. Otis, well, point blank, Otis wound up saying, you know, normally you hear a lot of people say, have customized money, and you see some guys with customized Money in the Bank briefcases. Otis still has his, but he point blank said he's keeping a whole, like a couple sausages, some steaks and all in there, and just, that can't be sanitary. Ugh. Yeah. Otis, though, gives me hope, because if a guy like Otis can score a girl like Mandy Rose, then there's hope for me. Yeah. Also, the big highlights from last week's SmackDown were, well, they teased that this Friday coming up, we're going to get Charlotte versus Bayley again, which I got no problem with, you know. And let's see, other big highlights, Intercontinental Tournament, because Sami Zayn had to vacate the Intercontinental title, whether you want to make the argument for, because, you know, some people are saying it was taken from him because he's refusing to compete because he's in lockdown and he's fired, or not fired, but, you know, it's one step short from being fired and all this, that, and the other. It just sounds like Dave Meltzer bullshit, because I'll give the people that want to make that argument the benefit of the doubt. Just hear me out on this. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just put a pin on it right there and say that they're right. That WWE, Vince McMahon, and all of WWE management is that petty and that bitter and towards their talent, their employees. That, you know, if they're not willing to compete, then, you know, they're going to just be like, well, you know what? You're not going to work? Fine. Fuck you. I want you to think. The company's been active and running for 50-something years now, dating back to Vince Sr. You know, when he was in the when he was running the WWF. You know, and just seriously, he can't compete at the moment. Sami can't compete. So, we need the title. The title's going to be an attraction. The title's an attraction. The guy who's carrying the title can't come out to be the attraction for it. So, what are we going to have to do? Hey, Sami, we need it. They're not going to get rid of the guy. The guy's a good chicken shit heel. He can work the damn mic. They're not gonna. You know, it's not going to be that simple. Now, we have an Intercontinental Tournament going on. We have Corbin and Elias. Them two went at it. Much like with WrestleMania, I didn't have a horse in the race. But I'm not going to lie, I kind of wanted Corbin to win. Just for the simple fact it would have pissed off all the IWC Smart Mark fans. And, you know, I can't help if I get this nice healthy glow I have by bathing in their tears of utter sadness. Sometimes it's good to be such an evil son of a bitch. Also, we had Daniel Bryan versus Drew Gulak, which was a hell of a fucking match. I dare challenge anyone to pull out a match that's got like 10,000 flips and, you know, doing 6 million somersaults and 50 million false finishes and put it up with that one. That was a damn good fucking match. Now, unfortunately, that Sunday after SmackDown, it was announced Drew Gulak is no longer with WWE, whether it's because he was fired or whether it was because his contract was up. I'm not sure. I heard both stories, so I don't know what to believe. And, you know, I always go with this argument. When it comes to the dirt sheets, the rumors and all that bullshit, 90% of it's going to be made up bullshit. 10% of it's going to be true, and it's that small little 10% that they make a mountain out of a molehill from. You know? So that's where the damn problems come from with the dirt sheet jerk-offs like that. But I digress. I could go on for 20-something minutes about them fuckers. But either way, Drew Gulak no longer with the company, unfortunately. Hope for nothing but the best for him with that. With it, you know, whether he goes to Japan, Ring of Honor, Chikara, MLW, AEW, wherever he goes. I just hope for nothing but the best. So, yeah. Monday Night Raw, it starts out, oh, good Lord Almighty. It starts off, Charlie Caruso in the ring. Whew! Charlie comes out, Charlie's out there, and we get to bask in her glory, and then she's introduces Randy Orton. Randy comes out, talks about on how he is a natural wrestler, you know, it's a natural God-given talent he has, and he just wants a straight answer from Edge. Edge comes out, says, Randy, let's face facts. You don't like the fact that, or I'm sorry, I got that wrong. Edge was calling out Randy saying, you know, this was never your dream. This was never something you chased after. This was your plan B. You were never 6 years old dreaming to be in the company. You were never six years old dreaming you would be the world champion. I was. All the guys in the back, like me, were. You weren't. Now hell, back in 2004, back in 2003, you and me, we tore the house down for the Intercontinental title. And when I held that title, I knew that was just going to be a stepping stone to greatness. So I want you, this is not about nothing. And then Randy cut him off. Oh, would you just shut up and give me a damn answer? You going to go one-on-one with me at Backlash, yes or no? Edge said yes, so we're going to get it. Now, how I could see that going? I could see Randy getting a win on that one, just to lead into one more. You know, because Edge scored the win at Mania, but the biggest thing that is kind of, you know, annoying me, and it's not so much like angry keyboard rage kind of annoying, but more like like a toothache, like, damn, that's, oh, you son of a bitch kind, is they're hyping it up saying this could possibly be the greatest wrestling match ever, and unfortunately nothing is ever going to top WLC. I'm sorry. No. So yeah, next up, so now we get to the first match of the night. It starts off with Murphy going against Humberto Carrillo, and this happens because Seth Rollins, he comes out talking about cutting a promo, again, being an evil, dastardly man, only wearing one glove, because what kind of sick son of a bitch would only have one hand covered up like... Seth Rollins is out there cutting a promo, talking about what he did to Rey Mysterio. Basically highlighting, saying, you know, Rey, what I did was for the greater good. This is my, you know, and going back to the whole, this is my burden, this is my problem to bear. I am doing this all for all of you, that kind. And I am absolutely fucking loving this. Because like I said, the best heroes are the best villains don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as heroes. You want to talk in as far as movie-wise, look at Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. Thanos, in his mind, he was doing the greater good. You want to go into history. Look at World War II. The Axis. They thought they were doing the greater good. You know, it's the best villains don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as the heroes, and the heroes as the ones that are wrong. That's what it is, plain and simple. And Seth is playing it up like that fucking perfect. Now, while he was out doing that, then Humberto Carrillo came out, talked about on how you don't get to do that to Ray. He's an idol. He was his childhood hero, this, that, and the other. And, well, I absolutely love the kid, and I hope for nothing but the best for him while in the company. Man, really, seriously, dude, your mic, no. Somebody cut the mic, please. No, he is not good on the mic. Either way, so now we get Murphy versus Humberto. It was a pretty short match, albeit it was very much so, you know, it was very much so it made sense because it was to make a point, saying you're going to step, in a sense of Murphy being, you're going to step to my Messiah, I'm going to slap the taste out your mouth kind of way. And Murphy, he did. He got the win with Murphy's Law, 1, 2, 3. Next up, we got Charlotte versus Ruby Riott, which this, much like I said earlier in the show, this was to help make Charlotte look strong leading into her match coming up with Bayley on Friday. So, you know, as much as I'd like to see Ruby score some wins, you know, you can't always win them all. You know, unfortunately, that's just what it is, plain and simple. You know, the match, you know, match started during the break. You know, it was nice. Like I said, it was a nice warm up towards what's going to happen on SmackDown with Charlotte and Bayley. Charlotte got the win with the figure 8. So yeah, next up we got Truth versus Bobby Lashley. Truth came out saying on how he's gonna do like his childhood hero John Cena and not back down from threats and intimidating bullies like Bobby Lashley. And then he called out Tom Brady wanting his 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South 401k maxed out, which credit to R-Truth for getting them 401k to max out during this kind of economy. You don't even, you don't want to know on how bad my portfolio is. Yeah. So, yeah. Truth called out Gronk for the 24/7 title, which Truth should be in the fucking Hall of Fame for that. Not just for that, but for everything. Because the guy's got, like, a direct nerve straight to my funny bone. And as a rule of thumb, if you can make me laugh, I can't get mad at you. That's all it is, plain and simple. So, as far as this went, Lashley just pretty much plastered Truth. He murdered him and then got him full Nelson. He had him in the full Nelson slam and then put him in the full Nelson and then ragdolled him. So, yeah. Then we got women's tag action. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Whew, going against the IIconics. And this, nice little bit of back and forth on it. Now, it was back and forth, actually, not, but it was good back and forth for the entire match. And the match came to an end when Bliss, she hit the Twisted Bliss onto Billie Kay. Peyton Royce came in, started going postal on Alexa Bliss. Ref threw out the match, so Bliss and Cross won by DQ. And the backstage segment, we see Peyton Royce crying, sobbing uncontrollably. Next thing you know, Billie Kay just to snap her out of it, which at that point, once we saw the Hancock back, it was like with that moment in Simpsons. Alright, if you pause it at this exact moment, you could see when the heart broke. And right there. Yep, it was at that moment when the hand cocked back. That was when I was like, no, don't do this to them. So yeah. Next up we got, oh my Lord in heaven, Shayna Baszler against Natayla in a submission match. Now while I absolutely love on how WWE always emphasizes on how Natayla with the dungeon and the Hart family and the sharpshooter, okay, let's call a duck and a spade a spade. Y'all want to talk about just the straight up sharpshooter, sharpshooter, sharpshooter. Okay, emphasizing on the Hart family and the sharpshooter. That's like, all you're doing is talking about the fucking uncle. You want to talk about the family, how about you talk about her dad? You want to talk about her family, mention Davy Boy. You want to talk about her family, mention Stu. You little beast, dude. You know? Talk about him. Talk about on how that shit went, you know? Instead of just, and I don't know, maybe this is just me also, but if anyone else, I'm pretty sure anyone that's watched this has had the sharpshooter done to them. Who the hell has their knee hurt when it happens? Because honest to God, anytime I've ever had the sharpshooter done on me, and I've had it done millions of times, more so done by my brother than by fucking people I went in the ring with, it always hit the back. It always hit the back because my back wound up bending like a fucking bread twisty like that. I don't know. It always confused me saying, oh, they're working, softening up the knee for the sharpshooter. It works that move hits the back. Why would I want to soften up the knee for it? Why would you soften up the knee for a submission that focuses on the back? Just, ugh. Yeah. Back to the match, though. Shayna pretty much grounded Natayla at the start. Natayla, she started to pick up some momentum. Got the sharpshooter in, which then led me to that little tizzy I just went on, because I don't know if it was Joe or Phillips, but one of them was saying, you know, keep that in long enough, it'll pop out her knee or something, but that's what made me think that. And Shayna, much to her credit, smart, crawled out under the ring for the leverage to get out of it. Eventually got back in. Shayna, though, this is where it gets funny. Because again, talk about the Hart family and all the dungeon and all that. Whereas Shayna, you know, she got taught submissions to hurt people. Natayla got taught submissions to subdue people. That's the difference between a fighter and a trainer. That's the difference between trained to fight and just being trained. You know? Shayna Baszler went in there, stone cold, cage fighter mindset mentality, and I will say this, the empty arena atmosphere works fucking perfect for her, because she walks in there with that blank emotionless state, and that just works so good for her with it. And she goes in, boom, laser eyes, locks in, goes for the kill. Shayna Baszler, she got the win, caribou to clutch. You know, eventually at some point, man, the match between her and Asuka is going to be something fierce. Oh, baby. So, yeah. Next matchup, we got an impromptu tag match. Apollo Crews and Kevin Owens going against Angel Garza and Andrade. And this match came to be because after the match, Natayla just sat there in the ring like disheveled, like, I can't believe I just lost. Which, you know, and then she completely destroyed the setup that they were doing for the KO show while she was there, which just furthers my theory that Natayla is, honest to goodness, an HMB, a high maintenance bra. You know, because just the way she carries herself and talks, she could just tell which girls are HMBs just by that. And yeah. So KO comes out, introduces his guests for the Kevin Owens show, which are Zelina Vega, Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory. He steps onto the apron, said, let them talk. Zelina says, I bet you're out. You know, kind of disrespectful for you to sit on the apron and have us here because, you know, you can't share the same ring with us. Well, the argument could be said, I'm doing that to let you have the moment. And then she was going on saying, I see on how it is. People see a small little fight and want to make a mountain out of a molehill. I'm paraphrasing, mind you. And all this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, also another reason why is because we're going to have another guest. And it is Apollo Crews. Crews comes out, makes a beeline straight for Andrade, beats the tar out of him. Next thing you know, they cut the break. We come back. We got tag action going on with these guys. You know, faces led the entire match. They led the entire thing. You know, got quick tags from both parties, but the faces, they led the entire thing. And what I absolutely loved was on how impromptu it was. And Owens was honestly, yes, he was in his shorts. Yes, he was in his boots. But let's call a duck and a spade a spade. Aside from when he was the face of America, he's always dressed like that. So you never really know if he's gonna, unless he had his hands taped up. He did not have his hands taped up, so it was a little thing like that, like, whoa, shit, wasn't expecting this, okay, cool. So, match came, fast forward to the ending, match came to an end. Zelina Vega's distracting the ref. Austin Theory's up on the apron, getting ready to go do a cheap shot on the Crews. Instead, clocks Garza by accident. And then Crews capitalizes, gets Garza, holds him up for that running sit-down powerbomb he does. 1, 2, 3, that is it. So yeah, next thing you know, we get, excuse me, we get Theory going, apologizing, I'm sorry, that was an accident, and all that jazz. Next thing you know, Andrade, getting in between them. Oh, it's okay. Wham! Straight up takes out Theory, and then they proceed to go and beat the crap out of him. Zelina Vega then says, you are worth less than nothing. I should have never bothered to take you in, all that jazz. And then, yeah, they leave him out, like, they toss him to the side like trash. Next up, we got Murphy versus Aleister Black, because after the match with Murphy and Humberto, we wound up getting Black running out to go and get Seth because, well, what he did to the guy, Ray's eye, so. And this did not disappoint. This was very much so just like any other Murphy Black match. It was fucking good. Fast paced, fast striking by both. Match came to an end though when Seth, who was ringside, went over to the timekeeper spot, saw saw Theory, I should say, still sitting there. Took him up, and then just looked at him. Go. And then, so Seth now has a new crony under his wing, and his name is Austin Theory. So I'm good with that. Hopefully, who knows, maybe it might lead to stable versus stable kind of feuds like we got back in the old days. So now we come to main event of the night. Drew McIntyre, King Corbin. Before the match took place, MVP and Bobby Lashley came out. MVP saying, no, Drew, with all due respect to you and King Corbin, my man right here, Bobby Lashley's got something to say. Lashley then says, Drew, I'm putting you on notice. That title's going to be mine. And they stand at the entryway during the entire match. Now, this nice pace, Corbin led it. Corbin led the match. Had nice, good back and forth with it. And I will give it that. We had a lot of that tonight. And that's what I like. I like seeing back and forth in the match. I don't like seeing one side dominating a majority and then the other pick up like the last 20% at the end. That kind of shit, just, nah. I like back and forth where it's like, whoa, 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 shit going on. So, good match. I dug it. Match came to an end with McIntyre. Boom, caught the Claymore on to Corbin. When Corbin, he went to go do that run around the ring post, came in. Boom, caught him with a Glasgow kiss, ran over the ropes. Hit him with the Claymore, 1, 2, 3. That was it. After that, he was in the ring calling out Lashley. Come on, Bobby. Come on. So we're probably going to get them to a backlash, which I have no problem with. And that is it for this week's show, folks. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure you look for me on the Twitter at Tim Vicious. Also on the Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you're going to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, make sure you let me know you found me on there from here. On my Twitter at Tim Vicious, something I Creep John going. Big ups to my executive producer, Ali Rewind Ben, who provided the music for this week's show. It's on iTunes, Spotify, and such. Details are down below. Also, you want one of these sweet Ali Red Band shirts? Hit me up and I'll talk to the man for you. Show him some love and support. Also, thank you to contributor of the show. Excuse me. LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. It's a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women. We're in a little bit of nothing. Also, folks, do not forget to follow these cool-ass guys right here on the Twitter at Million. Kenny Killer, DSB_IP, Diabolica RA, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.